at 6 o'clock, we are getting more information from State Law Enforcement Division after a wrongful death lawsuit was filed against Clemson police.
The estate of Gregory Metz, who died in an officer-involved shooting, filed the lawsuit. Metz was shot and killed at a gas station in 2021. Now, officials say a Clemson police officer was investigating a stolen moped when a struggle broke out between the officer and Metz, who police say had a gun. Now, Metz was fatally shot. Lawsuit claims police used excessive force and that Metz was not a threat. It also claims the department doesn't have proper policies in place. Now, Clemson officials told us that they can't discuss this case, so we reached out to SLED. They tell us the case is closed and sent us the letter by Solicitor Walt Wilkins sent to them in 2021 after he reviewed their files. He said in part, quote, "I conclude there is insufficient evidence to support criminal charges that could be proven beyond a reasonable doubt at this time."